strengths. It is very, very important for you as a business or as a business owner to know what is going on in these spaces so that you can keep yourself abreast and be able to make the right decision. So, from social media strategies and search engine optimization to cutting edge digital advertising tactics, the tools and techniques of digital marketing are more powerful and complex than ever before. On today's episode of the Business Breakfast on Z, we will dive into the digital marketing trends for 2025, and we'll be exploring the latest strategies businesses can use to expand their reach and engage their audiences. Now, our experts are in studio and they will unpack the most powerful, and most impactful trends in social media. They're going to share some actionable SEO tips to boost your online visibility and discuss how businesses can optimize their digital ad spend for maximum return on investment. I have in studio with me Edward Asare and PK Wood. I want to read their profiles briefly and then we can get into the conversation. So Edward Asare, let me start with Edward and then I come to PK Wood. Okay. All right. So Edward Asare is a digital marketer, media expert, PR professional, blogger, publicist, and an influencer passionate about helping individuals, brands, and businesses communicate their value and build their online presence. He helps brands communicate with their target audience by leveraging effective digital marketing, digital media, and communication strategies that increase brand awareness, visibility, and engagement. Now, let me read PK Wood's profile, but let me just bring in Edward as I get PK Wood's bio. Edward, how are you doing, sir?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you too?
Yeah, I'm doing very good. A lot of people are anticipating this conversation with you.
Well, I'm very humbled that they are willing to listen to what we have to share this morning.
Right.
Yeah.
That is very, very good. Now, let me just start with you. I'm trying to fish out PK Wood's bio and I can't find it strangely. Okay, Edward, maybe we can start a conversation with you. Now, it is important. We are in 2025. It is important for businesses to leverage the shifts in the digital marketing space. I want you to tell me what are the biggest shifts in the digital marketing space that businesses should look out for in 2025.
Right. So right now we all know the emergence of AI has really, pushed a lot of brands to use various AI tools to generate content, write content, create content, engage their audiences on all of these platforms that are available.
Right.
So of course we cannot talk about this topic without mentioning the relevance of AI in these times, and it will fascinate you that AI has given birth to a lot of marketers now and digital marketers. Previously, where you have to sit down and use your own head to write copies and come up with strategies, just few people were really in this space. But because of AI now, ChatGPT, anybody at all can just go online and just write copies and get strategies to, come up with digital marketing, plans to market their goods or services online. So it is something that is worthy to note. And if you're out there, you are struggling on how to market your products online on various social media platforms, then of course it's very important for you to get to use some of these AI tools to help you in generating content and all of that, even customer engagement and experience. Now, the second thing, if you want me to continue or you'd want to just go ahead and introduce my brother.
Okay, let me bring him into the conversation that we can. Okay, so I finally have PK Wood's profile. So PK Wood is a result-oriented marketing professional with strong creative, analytical, and leadership skills. He has over 14 years of experience working and volunteering in multiple creative marketing roles. Now, during this period, he's had the opportunity to work with a range of organizations from startups to large organizations like APSA, Gates Foundation, Ministry of Information Ghana, and Nestle CWAR. Now, his current focus is digital marketing and mobile technology. That is why it is very important to have PK Wood in studio with us this morning. PK, good morning.
Good morning.
I hope you're doing well.
I'm doing very well.
Right, great. Good to have you. Now, Edward just started a conversation on some of the biggest shifts in the digital marketing space in 2025. What are some other ones that we need to pay attention to?
So I'd say in addition to AI, so it's like a very interesting spectrum.
Right.
On one side, you have AI, which is computers generating information, helping us to even learn digital strategy or figure out the first steps. Right. On the other side, we have creators, that's individuals creating authentic content. So it's like there's this range between computers and human beings, and you need to kind of find the balance as a data marketer. And more, they are taking over. I mean, we saw recently with this whole brouhaha about TikTok.
Right.
The power of TikTok is because of the creators, people creating authentic content for people. So for brands, that shift to authenticity is just as important as understanding the power of AI.
Right.
So it's that balance.
Okay. And I heard Trump, President Trump mentioned that the reason why he had to negotiate for TikTok to come back is because of businesses. And I agree with you when you say 100%. Because of the content that people put out there. Edward, you want to come in again?
Well, another thing, if you don't mind, is now there is the need for brands to leverage personal branding when it comes to marketing in these current times. You will notice, and it is very prevalent in Ghanaian communities, that somebody would have a business and then they are more fascinated about having different social media platforms for the business, and they're happy like, hey, I have a new business and all of that. And the business is faceless. Nobody knows who owns it. In fact, I had a conversation with a lady some few months ago. She has a business that she wants to grow, but she doesn't want anybody to know that she's the one who owns the business. And the sad part is that people want to connect with human beings. With the prevalence of AI and all of this technology and all of that, people are yearning for human touch. So if you're hiding yourself from your business, nobody knows you, you're actually shooting yourself in the foot.
Right.
And the whole issue of Ghanaians playing low key, nobody should know about my business, then you don't really want to make money, because the whole point of going into business is to make money. And one of the simplest ways, the lowest hanging fruit, is to leverage on your personal branding, use your own stories to sell the product or service to the people that are interested in it. Yeah.
100%.
Right. But somebody will argue that today, in as much as we know some of these big companies, we don't really know the humans, behind them. Or some of the big companies. Edward, do you want to?
That's a very interesting thing to say. That is true. Right. But I'm going to be very annoying here. Some of the biggest brands are actually named after people. Mercedes.
Okay.
Ford. Aston Martin. Ford. They are family businesses. Even a company like, say, Mars, it's actually a family that owns that company, right? And in the beginning, because let's face it, these are companies that have been around for decades, generations. The families, the individuals behind them are no longer present, right? But in the beginning, when you're building a company, we can use tech giants because on the scale of large companies, they are nowhere. On the scale of large companies, they are nowhere near the length of time that an older company, a more established company would be. Look at Apple. A lot of the marketing was driven by the founders. Same with Microsoft. Same with every modern company. Even in Ghana here, a lot of businesses are driven by the founder story or the community that the founder has or the individuals, key personalities in the company. You need a certain element of human touch. Even with a B2B business, as business to business, when you're selling a service, it's the salespeople that drive it. Some companies, and there's an example on TikTok, I'm trying to recall the company, but it's a shawarma business. They created a personality. I don't even know if the person works there. They created this exaggerated personality of a guy who likes shawarma, and you have to eat it the original way. So if you come and you order shawarma, and then you are ordering it with mayonnaise and salad and things, you throw it away. It's an exaggerated personality, but it's a human touch to the market. But if you're starting out, and a lot of people are doing small businesses, like my colleague Edward correctly said, you have to bring some element of your personal brand into it.
Yes,
it's the only way to start. Your community, they need to connect with a human being.
Well, because I have seen a particular brand on Instagram. I'm not quite sure if I can remember the name, but they've created a digital human. And the human, I mean the digital human, is an influencer, and he sells products for all kinds of brands. And I think it's something that we must. So I agree with you. I mean, if you say that there's supposed to be the human touch to some of these things that we are talking about. Now, you have talked about AI and probably automation. How has the rise of AI and automation changed the way businesses approach digital marketing? Edward.
Okay, so just like I mentioned earlier, now AI has come to make the work easier for us. Those days, you would have to come up with a strategy, write copies. The copy editor would have to check what you've written is correct. Before that, it goes to your supervisor. Of course, all of these things are still in place, but it has limited the error in most of these strategies that we implement as digital marketers.
Right.
So these are some of the importance that it comes with the work. And also, it makes works faster. Now, if you are a community manager, you're a social media manager, just with just a click of a button, you are able to generate like 10 copies, or you're able to generate copies for the whole month that you can use, or just schedule your post for the whole month, and then you just sit there and then focus on other important things. So one, that's a number two thing, as in it limits the time to which you have to use in implementing your strategies as well. Another aspect also is previously you would have to purchase stock images every now and then. It's very costly. Now there are various free AI tools and platforms that you can use to create images that you can use for your marketing purposes. So when it comes to cost, it also reduces that as well.
Right.
And notwithstanding, it's actually taking some people's jobs away because now with just a click of a button, you can create a graphic. So that means that a certain graphic designer somewhere might have lost some 500 Ghana B that you might have gotten from you for just creating a creative for you. But let me add as well, with all of these things happening, okay, just like my brother indicated, people are always looking for some form of humanity in whatever you're doing. So if you are a company and you keep sending, let's say, SMS messages to people or emails, and the message looks too AI generated, it pisses them off.
Right.
You are here, my brother, and I'm sure you've seen some of these messages or some posts or copies on social media. You read it like, this one, you understand? Now people are even trying to spot mistakes in copies to feel like this one a human being wrote it. Are you with me?
Yeah.
So these are some of the nuances that comes with the use of AI in this space.
Right.
So, well, of course, it has come to help us, but then people are getting to feel tired of all of these AI churned out vomit on so many social media platforms.
Now, and I read the digital marketing report by the Digital Marketing Institute, and they said that now because of AI, people should focus largely on even learning skills like prompts instead of the basic digital marketing skills that they have. So how to prompt this AI to give you the exact thing that you're looking for. And I think that is one of the things that...
Of course, it's very true. And if you know your way around how to use this social media, AI platforms, you can be able to prompt it to give you very good human-like copies to use for your pages. So I do agree with you when it comes to that. But that notwithstanding, sometimes just add some human vibe to it. It makes everything beautiful. We are yearning so much for that kind of human touch when it comes to digital marketing in these times.
Right. You want to add something?
Oh, yes. I'm about to be a huge devil's advocate. AI lovers will hate me. So I'm not... I don't particularly dislike AI. I don't particularly love it. A tool is a tool. It's how it's used that's the problem, right? Now, most people have a general misunderstanding of AI. So just for all the listeners, I want to clarify. The name AI being applied to ChatGPT is technically a buzzword. It's just marketing. It's really just very smart inference. Like, okay, if this person said this and that person said this and that person said this, then this is likely the outcome. So it's actually...
That's not quite clear.
So you say something,
Right.
my colleague Edward says something, right? Because both of you are seeing something similar, then the software then predicts, okay, based on what I am seeing, then this is the likely outcome.
Right.
So it's based on expert stuff. Now, the more content we create is coming out of this AI, the less accurate the AI becomes.
Oh, really?
Yes. It needs an endless supply of actual, genuine knowledge to fuel it. So sometimes I would read something that has come out from an AI prompt. I'm like, this is not correct. But that's because I know that the outcomes will be incorrect because I've developed the skill. So in as much as you're developing the skill to prompt, you should also understand the industry.
Right.
Because eventually you'll not be able to even check whether what you're getting is incorrect or correct. Yeah. Oh, and one more thing. I totally forgot. This is very critical. I'm older than I look, and I keep forgetting. Gen Z is one of the biggest marketing trends of 2025. Gen Z is turning 28 this year.
That's true.
Most people think of Gen Z as teenagers.
Yeah.
Gen Z is now 18 to 28. That's most of the chunk of what we tend to call the youth in marketing, right?
Yeah.
So we do need to start thinking about how we market to Gen Z. And this is especially true for those who have older online businesses.
Okay.
Start thinking about how you shift to Gen Z.
To Gen Z. Well, I think a lot of them are trying to adapt anyway. But of course, every year there are new platforms that emerge, new tools that emerge. What are some of the platforms that have emerged, or the platforms that we should look out for in 2025?
Well, especially when it comes to small business owners who do not have much money to hire the big marketing agencies or get in touch with the big digital marketers to do their work for them, then it is very important for you to get to know some of these simple marketing platforms to use to create content for yourself. The very first one, which is the low-hanging fruit, is the various social media platforms that are available. Okay. I'm a serious advocate for the use of as many platforms as you can use, because then you don't know where your customer is going to come from. Right. Of course, get to understand which platform you are likely to find your customers. So if you are somebody who you might be able to find your customers on Snapchat or maybe TikTok or Instagram. Of course, be there, have a very huge presence there, but it doesn't harm if you have a decent presence on, let's say, Twitter or X or Facebook or LinkedIn. Because who knows, somebody prefers to use one platform compared to the other. So, of course, these are the low-hanging fruit. Have all of these platforms available. Some of the content that are created can actually be cross-posted. It doesn't really take much. Right. Number two, some tools like Canva, which I know so many people know. If you don't know, then I'm mentioning it to you today. Just Google Canva and then go in there. There are various templates that you can use to create decent content for your pages. It's just a matter of editing some text here and there, replacing some of the images with another one, so that you can come up with very affordable content for your pages. Right. Well, if you don't have enough money to get a premium version, even the free version is enough to create some decent content. Now, another thing, look, if you go onto Mark Zuckerberg's pages, his videos that he used to announce some new features are not really too edited. Have you noticed?
No.
It's as though he had just put the camera in front of him, recorded it, and posted it. You don't need too much. You don't need to do so many animations to your video to market the product. Right. So if you have a very decent phone, and right now, almost every phone has some form of decent camera. You understand? Get one. Download the CapCut app, which is a sister product of TikTok. Okay, and then use it to edit your videos. If you have to cut some portions off, if you have to add some text or a subtitle to your video that you have created, because now then people, if they are not listening to the audio, then they are actually reading the subtitle. So somebody can be in a trotro, doesn't want anybody at all to hear what they are saying on or what is playing on their video. They can just read the subtitles on the video, and then they are good to go. The CapCut decently plays on your phone. You have your your Canva over there, and you are good to go. All of these simple things are just some of the things that creators or SME owners can use in their digital marketing.
Yeah. Right. You have some.
I have a couple of other things.
Okay, sure.
So just building on some of the points that my colleague Edward has mentioned. So Canva. I'd recommend anyone and everyone to have Canva. It has so many amazing tools. It actually has free AI generation built in.
Wow.
Yes. So it would build out images for you that you can then use to design. And like Edward mentioned correctly, just play around with the templates, because if everybody is using it, you have to stand out just a little bit, right? Okay, so there's that. And then even with the subtitles, there's additional software. CapCut may not be able to do it as well as you think, but then there's additional software, mobile software that's free to download, and it automatically translates your video into multiple languages for you for free. Yes. So for those of you who are doing businesses where you're shipping things outside, the share butter businesses and stuff like that, you don't have to worry about the people in a different country that speak French or Spanish understand what I'm doing. You can have all of those tools, and you don't have to pay somebody to do that stuff for you. So you can start small. And then again, this I can never stress enough. Good enough is better than perfect that never went. A lot of people, good enough is better than perfect that never went. A lot of small businesses stress over, and my logo is no good, and I haven't figured out a brand color, and I haven't got the perfect video, and I don't have a studio. You have a camera. You have the internet. I've seen people design their posts in PowerPoint because that's all they had. And they were making serious money. So it's about just making sure that I've ticked all the boxes. Have I told the people what they need to see? Have I put the product information? And please, 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 stop asking people to DM for price. You're not selling luxury goods. Put price information there. You'll be surprised how well that works. Right? So it's using the tools you have and then looking out for new things that make your work easier. And like Edward mentioned, check out Mark Zuckerberg's announcements. There's a lot of tools that Facebook has that most people don't even know exist that can make your work easier. It's a long list. Same with Google. Same with TikTok. When you go to TikTok, don't log in. Scroll to the bottom. There's a list there that says tools. There are so many tools, from information on what's working with content to trends and music that's trending, all of that. It just helps make your life a whole lot easier.
Okay, great. I mean, you talk about Mark Zuckerberg and the fact that he doesn't do a lot on his videos. But don't you think it's because he's Mark Zuckerberg? Because in somebody's home right now, the lighting system is even poor. So they might have to do a lot of skirmishes, to what they want to post. Don't you think so?
Well, you have a point, but let me say something, okay? When you look at the masses, okay, not so many people know how to do video editing. So are you going to tell me that you want to go to school and go and learn video editing, how to do those animations before you can start marketing your product?
No.
You don't need to do all of that. And like I mentioned earlier, people they are looking for, so there's something we call user-generated content. That is more or less like a very bare video or content that is generated by somebody who came to patronize your product. So let's say I go outside right now and I go and buy Wachi at Eating Point. Is that not the name? There's a Wachi joint close here. You don't go there to buy.
No, I don't do this.
Okay, and then I just take a video like this. Hi guys, I just came here to buy Wachi, and I really have not tasted Wachi as good as this in a very long time. It is located on the way to Z Media. Are you with me?
Yeah.
Not edited. I just post this on my TikTok. Are you with me?
Yeah.
So many people will find that more believable. Why? Because it is in its minimum form. It doesn't have any skirmishes to it. It doesn't look like the Wachi people came to hire me to come and do any form of paid advertisement for them. Are you with me? So that is the trust part. Now, people used to say content is king. Have you noticed that with the emergence of AI, we have so much information now in the system? So now, do you know what is king now? Connection. We are all generating content now. We are all content creators now. Everybody, PK, you, everybody's creating. We are all on social media. But how many people are connecting to the people? And these are some of the things that you are supposed to see. Don't overthink the thing. Just have a decent video, create it, and put it out there. it doesn't really matter whether the person is Mark Zuckerberg or Kofi Menu at Volta Region. These simple tricks actually work.
They actually work. Well, if you just tune in, this is Business Breakfast on Z101.9 FM with me, Nii Trebi Hammond, and I'm having a conversation with Edward Asari, who's a digital marketer, and then PK Wood, who's also into digital marketing. We're talking about digital marketing trends for 2025. If you want to join the conversation, you could follow us. You can check us up on Instagram, Facebook, and X at ZFMGH. Instagram, Facebook, and X at ZFMGH. Or you can text us on WhatsApp on 0544321019. 0544321019. We're live on YouTube as well. You can check us out there at Z Multimedia. Gentlemen, let's continue the conversation. Now, you've spoken about social media as one of the emerging, for lack of better expression, tools or platforms to use. Now, I want to ask, which of them is really major in 2025? Which of them is going to dominate this year that everybody should focus on?
Easy answer, TikTok.
Okay.
Easy answer, TikTok. So, with businesses, if somebody does something and everybody else follows, that means they are doing something right.
Right.
Especially if it's huge industry leaders like Meta. TikTok brought Reels and that whole thing about you can create music and you can share. Instagram never had that. All of a sudden, everybody is copying it.
Right.
Even Snapchat started copying TikTok, which is crazy because at first, everybody was copying Snapchat. Right? TikTok is the platform. It's built for shareability, the way the algorithm works. If you have something that is related to somebody's interests, they will eventually see it. Or somebody who likes content, who knows them, will share it.
Right.
So TikTok is the place to be. Now, if you have an older audience, an older, more refined corporate audience, I'll suggest looking into LinkedIn. It's one of the most underutilized marketing platforms for most Ghanaian businesses. Right. And not to go and be stiff and boring and be posting motivational quotes. Talk about your business. Because these are people. The fact that they wear suits doesn't mean that they are not human beings. And like Edward rightly said, connection. Figure out the story that matters to your customer and tell them that story.
Right. Okay, Edward, you want to support TikTok?
Well, it depends. Most people approach these various platforms with a different mindset. But of course, with all of that is happening with TikTok, it is making them top of mind in these recent times.
Right.
In fact, the market women are glued to it. A lot of people.
Everybody's on TikTok.
Yes, everybody is there. And the interesting thing, even without having an account, you can enjoy it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's true.
So that's a very interesting thing you mentioned, Edward. I think we take it for granted because we are constantly online.
Right.
We have social media accounts on pretty much every platform.
Yeah.
Platforms people haven't even heard of. But if I share a post with you right now, you may be able to watch a video. If you don't have a Facebook account.
Yeah.
But you can't watch anything else until you sign up.
Even for Facebook, you can't watch the full video.
You can't.
Watch till
you
a
watch
point.
and then it says sign up.
Yeah.
And believe it or not everybody in Ghana has a Facebook account.
That's true.
Right? But with TikTok, if I share the video, I can watch and I can watch more. I can even watch more of your content.
Right.
And then TikTok suggests, oh, hey, you like this? Click this, you create an account and continue watching. If you ignore it, you can still watch content. It's not like that. Even with X, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
You can read one tweet, you can't read the comments.
That's true.
So those are things you have to factor in.
Edward, you want to say something?
So all of these things is making them, the talk of town. People love them. The whole politics around it. Also, it's really giving them some form of buzz in these current times. But let's look at the PR and then branding aspect of it.
Right.
When brands want to communicate, all of these platforms have a certain perception attached to them.
Okay.
And when you are marketing, the goal of every marketer is to reach an audience.
That's true.
If I want to market to Nii, my question would be, okay, where would I find Nii to market to him? Is Facebook the right platform? Is LinkedIn the right platform? Or I just need posters posted at East Legon for Nii to see.
I'll pass there.
Exactly. It's mostly about audience and where to reach them. So in as much as TikTok is getting the buzz. What perception do people have about TikTok? If a very big brand like Absa or Stanbic or MTN wants to market a certain product, would they find their target audience on TikTok? Now, people have a certain mentality that the audience on TikTok is mostly young people. And sometimes, I don't want to say the word, but people who are not too educated because of how simple it is and how the content is like on there. It's very playful and all of that. So if you want to reach those people, then of course, that's where you're supposed to go. If you want to reach a more corporate, a more professional people, then of course, LinkedIn is the place to be. If you want to reach more women, I know almost every platform has men as the dominant users, but if you hear the conversations from people, you notice that Instagram is where they are more drawn to because of how visual it is. So then it makes sense for you to go there. So my answer actually is it depends on which of these metrics you are looking at to determine which of these platforms will really stand out for you and the product you are offering and which one you should go for.
Right. Now, let's talk a bit about content creation. Now, a lot of people are creating content. A lot of people are putting things out there. And like PK rightly said, you said everybody is a content creator today. And that is very true. Now, how can a business create content that stands out from the lot?
Simple.
PK, yeah.
Tell a story that you care about, a story that matters to your audience. So every business, I believe, has figured out that there's a thing that people need that I can give them.
Okay.
And usually that comes from an opportunity. So you can literally just tell the story. I can tell a story to Edward right now that, hey, I started selling phones because I wanted money. And I realized that everybody wants phones. But then the phones that they have are very horrible. So I went to China and found the best phone possible. See how I'm stringing along. Yeah. That's a story. I made it up right now on the fly. Just tell a story. Don't overthink it. Tell a story that people care about, because people care more about human beings and other people's emotions or their own emotions than they care about numbers and stuff. If I started rattling off the specs of the same phone, you wouldn't care. Even talking about specs of a phone, rather than talk about its 500 gigahertz, its 200 pictures, tell me that I can take pictures worth over a year. Or rather than saying I can take a year's worth of pictures, say I can store a year's worth of memories in pictures and video. That's more emotive. That's more connecting to people. So start thinking about what does your audience care about. And that's a build up on what Edward said. Where is your audience? What do they care about? Tell them what they care about. That connects with what you are offering them. Right. That's how you start creating good content.
Okay. Edward.
All right. When it comes to digital marketing, content can be in the form of videos, photos, texts, audio. All of these are content or infographics. Whether you are a normal social media user, an influencer, a creator, a business, an SME, a corporate organization, you can leverage on all of this content I've mentioned to create content to boost your brand. Now you'll be wondering, where do I find the content? Or some people can actually sit down and be like, they'll be thinking about how to come up with all of this content. Ladies and gentlemen, content is all around us. Every human being has something to share in this world. And that value that you have can be in the form of a text. It can be in the form of a photo or a video. It can be audio.
Right.
We were all online when somebody came up with a very interesting audio, and then everybody's using it on Snapchat, on TikTok, on Instagram, in addition to their content that they are creating. Right. It has given them some form of visibility in the eyes of people. Brands started calling them, give them gigs and all of that. The gentleman who, I don't want to mention brand, I'm trying to, but there's a gentleman who did a very weird song, sorry for the word I used, and then brands actually called him. Now he come to your shop and come and sing that song, use the product of your name, and then everybody was sharing it.
Right.
I don't know if you know the song I'm talking about. Do you know the song?
Oh, I know this song.
Should I sing small?
Yeah,
Sing
sing
a
small,
little.
sing small.
Mina, Shema.
Oh, really?
Oh, you've not heard that song?
No,
Oh, bro, are you on social media?
Yeah, I'm on social media.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, so some of these things are what you can do. Now, look, if you're a content creator, you're a very funny guy, just take your phone,
Right.
record yourself being funny, and then share them on your pages. You're someone who knows how to write. That is your content. Come to LinkedIn, come and join me over there, and let's share stories, like my brother said. If you're somebody who is some people are very beautiful. Take very beautiful pictures, share them on Pinterest and Instagram. You get the right audience you are looking for. You are a mother who sells at Makola Market. You have a lot of knowledge. You've raised children. Just share your knowledge about how to parent a child.
All right.
And then post it on TikTok. And you would see the kind of visibility you would get from that. From that same post, you realize that companies and brands will come and engage you to sell products that has to do with parenting. So regardless of whatever thing you do, whether you are a medical doctor, whether you are actually a social media professional, whichever profession you find yourself in, there is some value that you can share on your platform. And please, this is not us saying that we want to transform everybody into an influencer. This is we saying that you can use these things to create a personal brand for yourself, so that you can stand out in your field, your profession, wherever you find yourself. And of course, we don't only use ambassadors for marketing now. We don't only use macro influencers for marketing now. Now, those people are actually very expensive. SMEs and small businesses are coming for the nano influencers. You can have about 1,000 followers to 5,000 followers, and a brand can come to you and say that, you know what, we want to reach the 100 people that have been viewing your posts on your page. Just give us some very good reviews on our product. Thank you very much.
Right. Now you introduce something we're going to come to, influencer marketing.
Right.
And so we want to dwell there a bit. Now it has become a very powerful tool in our space today. But of course, the landscape is evolving. Now, what role does influencer marketing play in 2025? And how can businesses effectively collaborate with influencers? PK. Let me start with
this is a tricky one. The answer is it depends. It really depends. You have to first look again at what the basics of advertising is, right? Because with influencers, it's more advertising than just marketing in general. Advertising is reaching the right people at the right time with the right message, right?
Yeah.
So right message, right people. If you have an influencer or a content creator that doesn't align with your brand values or doesn't fit into your image, it doesn't work unless you want to be contrarian and go like you've picked somebody off the streets, for instance, and put them in a luxury car. That would backfire after a while because it's gimmicky.
Right.
But the best way to work with influencers is to build trust over time, because again, with AI, with misinformation and stuff, people are losing trust. It's like people can spot an ad a mile away. So it has to be sincere, it has to be authentic. And the influencer actually has to genuinely love the brand. It's more powerful if the influencer or the ambassador you picked is someone who already used the brand before you partnered with them. Then it's more believable. Right. So that's the first step. Someone who actually cares about your brand and connects, not just because the person is popular and is everywhere. Then the next step is finding out the role they will play in your marketing. Are they going to tell people, go and buy the product? Are they going to help people figure out how to use the product? What are they going to say?
Just awareness.
Yes. So that's the right content.
Right.
And then right time is really, in this case, where in your campaign you are launching. Okay, are they going to come to your shop, or are you going to wait till after they launch, then you treat them to an experience? Just find the right time, and this which depend on who you are, what your business is like, and the kind of agreements. But you don't just go, content creator, here's my flyers, post them.
It.
No.
Okay.
Make it make sense for you, for the consumer and the influencer. Over to you, Edward.
PK, that's a brilliant one.
I love that. I love that. That's
Listen,
very brilliant.
So, ladies and gentlemen, an influencer is anybody that can have an effect or that can determine your decision on anything.
Okay.
So in this case, in marketing, anybody at all that can make you make a decision to choose a particular product over the other can be an influencer. And because of that, I have a very weird saying that all of us are influencers. Now let me explain that. Most people are on social media, regardless of the number of followers they have. Okay, I'm holding that constant. If I am in school right now, I follow my professor so and so on social media, and he comes to make a tweet about a certain educational material that would help students study better. Do you think I'll be influenced or not? I will be influenced because I am one of his students. I'm following him on social media. He said this thing is good, so what do? I go and buy it.
Right.
Now there is a parent who is home, follows this account of a youngster, and then the person makes a post about a game that their father bought for them on their birthday. That guy might not be having so many followers, but a parent sees that, like, hey, Charlie, let me get this for Kofi on his 18th birthday.
Yeah.
So that parent might have been influenced, okay, to make a decision based on somebody else's post on social media. Are you with me?
Yeah.
Others could be very big accounts that have been able to create a certain personality and a brand around themselves such that people love them for who they are because they are very authentic in how they do things. So others just want to imitate what they want to do. So they go to their pages, whatever they are wearing, they want to wear some. Whatever they are saying, whatever that person says is like gospel to them. So with all of these things I have said, we can group these people online that can influence the decision we make when it comes to purchasing online from macro influencers. These are the very huge influencers online. Then we have the micro influencers. Then you have the nano influencers. Okay, so the nano influencers are the basic usual social media users that have some decent following.
Right.
Okay, and mostly those ones are cheaper. Are you with me?
Yeah.
So, and I know a few of them online now that they have created groups for themselves. So if you are somebody who sells clothing, you sell food, you can actually engage these people, and then with just some small money, they talk about your product online.
Okay.
And because there are many, they are able to create some form of buzz about your product.
Right.
Now, if you have more money, then you can go up to the micro influencers. They are bigger, but not as big as the macro influencers. Then if you have more money, then you can engage those who have very huge following, like the 1 million and above, the macro influencers, to talk about your product for you.
Right.
But in all of this, please make sure that whoever you are choosing aligns with your brand. I've sat in meetings where we are looking for influencers to engage on particular product. You bring out this person's name, like, nah, this person, the other time he said this against women, and this product you are selling is for sanitary pad. We can't give the product to you. Are here with me? Or you bring another person, like, this person talks anyhow online. We cannot use the person. So if you are somebody who is a content creator out there, be very careful not to be insulting brands online.
Okay.
Because when PK is coming to look for influencers, he goes through your page, he has seen that you've insulted brand A, you insulted brand B, you insulted brand C. What guarantees that you are not going to insult my brand if something happens? So if you're an influencer or a creator out there, please take note of these things. Do not be in the habit of insulting brands online. If you have an issue, I beg, call them. So company, please, can you help me solve this issue? Don't go and lie and go and blast. These people, they've stolen my money. They took my money. They did this. Your product is not good. You are sucking other brands away from you. Another thing, the reason why influencer marketing has become very, very, very much important in these current times, almost everybody now has an ad block on their computers. I know, you have some. Me, I have an ad block. PK, you have some.
Actually, I am not able to have an ad block because of the business.
Okay. Then, of course, then maybe the marketers. All right. But me, I have ad block. And I know so many other people out there have ad blocks because right now, if you don't have an ad block, you have so many ads that are cluttering your screen when you're browsing. So one of the ways to, handle the issue of people blocking your ad that has been sponsored on Meta or LinkedIn on X or Google Ads is to use organic content creators like influencers who can post about your product and then people can see it because it is not an ad that has to be blocked by an ad block on your machine. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Edward. Okay, I'll come to you. All right. So if you just tune in, this is Business Breakfast on Z101.9 FM with me, Nee Trebi Hammond. You can still join the conversation. Our phone lines are open. Our WhatsApp is ready to receive all your comments, your questions. If you need some clarity, you could text us on 0544-321019, 0544-321019. And you could also comment on our post on Instagram, Facebook and X at ZFMGH, ZFMGH on Instagram, Facebook and X. Also, we're on TikTok and YouTube at Z Multimedia. Now, PK, you wanted to say something?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So here's an interesting thing that happens every time a new media channel opens up, and digital media is fairly new, right? People join the platform, then over time, as more and more advertisers join this platform, the ads become worse. Then people start to figure out how to avoid the ads.
Okay.
So happened to radio. Radio ads used to be amazing. Every single ad was golden because everybody was trying to make really good ads.
Right.
Then over time, the quality bar drops. Same thing happened to TV. If I ask you TV ads then and now, you'd probably remember a whole lot more good ads from then than now. Part of it is nostalgia, but part of it is when things become a lot, so there's so many TV channels, there's so many radio channels now, the quality bar starts to drop. So the good advertisers, the big brands, are doing amazing work. Some SMEs are doing great work. But then everybody else just thinks, oh, let me just do an ad.
Right.
So it's not about it has to be polished and stuff. It's about the things you mentioned, authenticity. Make sure that you're telling a consistent story. It's the same thing with when you're choosing influencers. And then one thing I'd like to call out, though, just so that people don't misunderstand us, we are not saying as an influencer, don't build credibility. If something happens, you're not saying don't talk about it. We are saying the way and manner in which you go about it. Be a bit more professional in your conduct. That's what you're saying. So just needed to clarify that. But there has to be some level of quality in what you're doing as an advertiser. So it's not, we said, do storytelling. Then you just write any kind of random story. Put some effort into it. Respect your customers a bit, basically. That's all you're saying.
Okay. So, of course, a lot of businesses, especially SMEs and all of that, have limited resources. And we are advocating that everybody should move to the digital spaces, put their content, put their business online and all of that. How can a small or medium scale enterprise, or basically a small business, leverage social media to market their products with a limited budget? How can they do that, Edward?
Okay. Once again, before I even go into this deep, when it comes to marketing, the goal is to reach your target audience. First of all, understand where your audience are. I have seen people who have businesses where their target audience are not really on social media, but they want to spend so much money in building that. I'm a digital marketer and I'm for everything digital. But here's the case. You sell Wachi somewhere New Town. Most of your customers are around you. Just some 2, 3, 4, 5 houses around, or the businesses. Okay. You don't sell Wachi to people in Kumasi or Tamale. The right medium for you to reach the people around you who might be interested in your business might probably be a poster placed at some vantage point
in their hood,
around your hood, to tell me that, Charlie, we are selling Wachi at this location.
Right.
You can call us or walk to our destination to buy it. What are you doing? You have identified where your audience are, and you are communicating to them. Now, if you have been able to get all of these people, maybe get a good number of people who are interested in your business. Now you can collect some data. Let's say the data would be phone numbers. Create a WhatsApp group and then put your regular customers there, or you create a channel and then you send them reminders every day that today this is the menu. We are selling this and that, or we are not coming today. Are you here with me?
Yeah.
So now your digital marketing platform now has become a WhatsApp community where you make announcements to the people that you are interested in. Okay. Now, number 2, when it comes to advertising, of course, we all know the traditional one is very expensive.
All right.
Yes. But that is not to say that if you can afford, you should not go there. The cheapest ones are the social media platforms. All it takes is for you to have data and a phone, create these platforms and use them to create your content.
Right.
In fact, with all that we've said so far, it does not take much for you to just take a picture of your product and then share it on your pages. And PK said, add your prices to it.
Yeah.
And again, please reply your DMs and your comments as well. These are some of the experiences that people would have for them to come to you. Another thing, there are so many scammers right now on these platforms. And if you're an SME, that would mean that your page is probably very young or small.
Right.
So even before somebody would even come to your page to come and make a purchase, they are having a second eye thinking, Charlie, is this thing legit?
Right.
Am I going to get the worth of my money when I give this woman? If I pay them, are they going to give me a product? One of the ways to ensure that people trust the brand that you have put on social media is to put yourself in there.
Okay.
Are you with me?
Yeah.
Let them know that you are the owner. That way, I know that when I give you the money, you won't run away. Because if you do, I'm going to post your picture on a very big platform.
Right.
I'll give it to people to share it. Actually, Opelia has taken my money. Number 2 is make sure your contact details are all there. Your location, your physical location. Number 3, do not lock your comment section. Or at least reply the comments. The moment you lock your comment section, you are telling people that you are a scammer and you are afraid that people will come and expose you in your comment section.
Yeah.
Are you here with me?
Yeah.
All right. So that's one of the things to do. Also, have a Google My Business location. It's very easy to create one. If you have a location, go to Google Maps, pick the location, and then claim the location you are. Add a business name, a phone number, so that people can actually use your Google location to locate you at wherever you are. It's very easy. We call it Google My Business. Please, if you don't know about it, just go to google.com and search for this.
Right.
These are some of the easy ways that an SME can leverage to use social media with little or no cost in propagating their business on these platforms.
Right. Okay, so I think we spent a lot of time on social media. Let's move to search engine optimization. What are the trends? I know it's also evolving over the time. What are some of the new trends to look out for in search engine optimization? PK.
Okay, so there are a couple of obvious ones. AI is everywhere.
Okay.
So AI search is a thing. Now, I think one of the key things that we said, and a lot of these look like we are just kind of repeating ourselves, but authenticity and trust. If you are a new business or you have a physical location, make sure you have a Google My Business. What that does is that ensures that your location is consistent across everywhere that people search for a business. This is Yango when somebody wants to do a delivery, a pickup. It's even Siri, Bolt, all of these things. It makes your business more searchable and it links to everything. And it tells Google or whichever search engine that this place is credible, right? The other thing is social media in people's comments are now a bit more important. So locking your comments is a bad idea.
Okay.
Because the AI is inferring, it's figuring out that, hey, if people are commenting on this and there's a lot of interaction, this is a legitimate business in the category. And then you don't even need like a full-blown website. There are lots of sites that give you a placeholder. Just create one of those. So the key trends are AI is taking over. You need to start thinking about what kind of valuable content you are putting out. If you have video content, if you can show people not just your product, but also how to use your product, that makes your site more useful
right.
for search. And then also other things around the usage of your product or the things that people care about. So for instance, if you are selling Stanley Cups, for instance, somebody who uses Stanley Cups might be a corporate person. So start talking about other things related to that that can realistically connect back to the Stanley Cup. Have a blog.
Okay.
For instance, if you want to get serious about SEO, create a blog. It doesn't need to be long post. Just start writing stuff. Idea, inspiration. And Pinterest. Pinterest, if you have products that are aesthetically pleasing, start looking at Pinterest.
Okay.
Especially if your primary buying audience is women. Pinterest is very powerful because what Google has been doing is that it's actually been putting Pinterest images in search.
Right.
So that's a very, very powerful hack.
Okay.
All right.
Edo, you want to add something?
Yeah, simply. So for the benefit of some of our listeners who do not know what SEO means, the word looks very huge, but what it means is any activity that you do that places you high up in a search rank on any search engine. The most used one is Google.
Yeah.
So let's say you are a Kaftan seller. What do you do for people who issue search queries on Google to find your business on Google without having to stretch so much? So if Edward Asare goes online or Google right now and I search Kaftans in Ghana or Kaftans in East Legon, would your business pop up for me? Notice, the goal of every business is to appear on the first page of the Google search.
Right.
You and I, Ni, PK, the moment we don't find the result on the first page, maybe the farthest we'll go is maybe the second one.
Yeah, or third.
If you didn't find it there, you go and change your what?
Your
search word.
Yeah.
Because you are thinking, say, okay, maybe I'm not telling Google what
I want.
exactly I'm looking for.
Right.
So with this in mind, you, the SME or the digital marketer or your social media manager, you have to understand the queries of people on these platforms so that you can churn out content that people are more likely to find. Now, there's another term called search engine marketing. That one is a paid-for activity that you do to the search engine platform. You give to the search engine platform to place your content high up in the search results. So, when you search for an item on Google or any search engine, Bing, Yahoo, at the very top, let's say the first three, you see some content with AD attached to them. Those ones are sponsored.
Right.
They are promoted. Those ones, we call them search engine marketing. You've actually paid for those. Beyond those ones, we have the organic ones. Those ones, we get those placements based on these factors I'm going to list.
Right.
Number one, originality of your content online. If you are somebody who is always copy, paste, you are not going to get a lot of ranking in results search. Because then the platform understands that you are not the original creator of this content. If you create more original content, you are likely to rank more. Even some social media platforms use it. Have you noticed that when somebody posts a content on TikTok, you go and post again, you might even be the only person who saw it. One view. Number two, having a website. Because most content online on web results are actually content from websites. Now, those websites have content we call copies.
Okay.
Those copies are supposed to contain in them keywords that people are more likely to search on those search engines. Now, those keywords, please, in as much as we are saying use keywords in your search, do not stuff your website too much with those keywords, else it would also be blacklisted. We call it keyword stuffing. Now, another thing that you're supposed to do, the images you use on your website, name them. So if these kaftans for men, you are uploading that image, perhaps somebody, your photographer sent you the image on WhatsApp. So when you downloaded it, it came with that WhatsApp.
WhatsApp name. Yeah.
Instead, what you are supposed to do is to rename the content Kaftans for Men.
Okay.
Before you upload it. Are you with me?
Yeah.
Those are some of the things that you're supposed to do. Number 3, your social media activity. You notice that some of the searches you come up with, okay, they have LinkedIn attached to them.
Yeah.
Facebook. It means that every activity of yours on these social media platforms are being crawled by the search engines and then suggested to people if they are relevant. The 4th one, backlinks. If you have a website, you have an article written, you've done an activity, you send it to, just go to another media house, let them write about your business, and then reference your website. It tells the platform that you have some form of valuable content on your website as well because of the backlink. You are driving traffic from one website to the other.
Right.
Another one is SEO articles, publications. The more media houses publish about you, the more likely you are going to rank in search results.
Right.
The last one I'm going to talk about is the Google My Business. You notice anytime you Google a location or some businesses, there is a pane. If it is a laptop, on the right side. If it's a phone, it's on top, containing the name of the business, the location, the hours of operation. It is called Google My Business. If you have that Google My Business, you will be recommended to people who search for your business online, which gives you some easy, cool chop traction. And please, SEO is one of the easiest and fastest way to market your good. Because the moment somebody has actually taken time to come and search for you, it means that they have actually made a decision, say they are coming to buy the thing like that. So make it very easy for them to find you.
Thank you.
Wow,
that's great. I wish I could clap. I mean, if there were audiences here in studio, they would clap. But I mean, those are good points you raise. I have a message here, and it's from Ajo. Ajo says that how essential is algorithm or back-end data to developing your social content? How important or how essential is algorithm or back-end data to developing your social media content? I believe wanted to say.
That's an interesting question.
Yeah.
I'm going to assume that this is built around how a lot of the social media platforms are using algorithms to determine what to show to people. The easy hack is look at the kind of content that people see often and then build content that's similar to that. Not the same, but similar to that, but authentic to you or the same. Because a brand is a brand. A brand is, this is how I show up in this space. This is how I show up to people. So the fundamental basic is act more human and less stiff. Every algorithm responds more to content that people want to share. And people want to share content that humans created or that feel like human beings and human stories, right? So that's the basic rule. Don't chase an algorithm.
Okay.
That's what I tell everyone. Don't chase an algorithm. It's a losing battle. There's like 1 million data points. You as a human being cannot calculate 1 million different formulas at once. So think more about what are people responding to positively.
Right.
That's why earlier on we mentioned check out the TikTok library, check out what Zuckerberg and co are talking about. There are tools that show you this is the content that works on each platform. This is what people are currently looking at. And then you look at it and you see, how can that relate to what I'm doing? Is this relevant or not? So right now, a thing that's very popular on TikTok and Instagram, for instance, is viral hooks. An opening that's a meme, an opening that's a meme, then you're expecting something, and they change it into, oh, hey, this is the product I have. So maybe somebody's falling down, then someone falls into a car. So that's an example of how to look at what people are creating that's popular and connect it to your audience. But I wouldn't recommend chasing algorithms. The way to beat an algorithm is to give the platform money. That's the only way to beat it. Give the platform money to place your ad.
I see. Okay, let's try and wrap up. We have very few minutes, and we'll be airing the vetting from Parliament, and so we'll have to wrap up. Now, let's talk a bit about data and analytics. I mean, because we've gotten into stuff like that already. Now, data-driven marketing allows businesses to better understand and engage their audiences, isn't it? How can businesses use data to better understand and reach their target audiences?
I think Edward has already spoken about one of them.
Yeah,
yes,
maybe you can
WhatsApp.
just throw some more light on that. Yeah.
Okay. So one of the benefits that digital media has over the traditional one is the ability of digital marketers to measure our performance more accurately. Are you here with me?
Yeah.
So all of these social media platforms that we talked about, websites, they have tools that you can use to determine or measure some metrics that has to do with marketing. Some platforms call it analytics, some call it insights. When it comes to websites, we have Google Analytics and then Monster Analytics, dependent on which one really works for you.
Right.
I use Google Analytics to measure the performance of websites. If you're not the one who created a website yourself, ask your web developer to connect your website to Google for you, Google Analytics for you. Just with your Gmail account, go to Google Analytics, you enter it, it will bring out the data of how your website is performing. Some of the metrics could include the gender of the people who are visiting your website, their location, their interest, what devices they are using to visit your website, and all of that. And even the number of people who are visiting your website. The page on your website that is attracting them to your website. Which other pages are they getting redirection from? Are you here with me?
Yeah.
All of these data help you to understand some basic requirement as marketers. Your audience, to know what to keep giving them.
Right.
Because now if you know that most of your audience are coming from Accra, you know that I'm supposed to focus my efforts on people who are in Accra.
Right.
Same applies to social media platforms. Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, X, TikTok. We have the insights page where you are able to understand some of these metrics when it comes to reach.
Yeah.
The reach has to do with the number of people who got to see your content. So let's say you made a post this morning. Edward, Nee, and PK saw the content. How many people have we reached? We have reached 3 people. Now the next one, impressions. Now Edward saw the post 2 times. PK saw the post 2 times. Nee saw the post once. How many impressions do we have? We have 5 impressions. Are you with me?
Yeah.
These are some of the metrics that you can use to understand your audience consumption. All right. And then you have the engagement, which has to do the likes, the comments, the shares on your posts. Even you can use your engagement to understand, to do some form of social media listening to understand the concerns or how people are feeling about your brand. Are they liking it? Are they hearting it? Are they laughing at it? Are they angry about it? You as a PR professional or a digital marketer can now use this as a listening tool to understand the grievances of your audiences when it comes to your page.
Right.
All right. So now these are some of the simple data that people can use in their marketing efforts as digital marketers.
Right. Quite unfortunate that our time is up. But let me end by asking, how can businesses, or maybe we should start from here, what are the skills that marketers need in 2025? PK.
So first things first is numbers. I know the joke is that when we are in school, we don't really like maths, but you have to be good at maths to be good at marketing. Otherwise, Otherwise, how you know how many people are referring your product, etc., right? And then the other one is have a certain sense of what good art is. I would say learn art, learn to appreciate art, because that's what takes your content from just average to good. If you have a sense of this is what is good, you can translate that thinking, that aesthetic into what you are doing.
Right.
And then the last one is really learn to understand people. So I would say something on basic psychology. The rest of them is free tools on Google, Meta. All of them have free tools that train you on how to use them. But those first 3 are things most people need to know to get started.
Okay. Okay, let's close our conversation this morning this way. What is one piece of advice you will give to businesses looking to thrive in the digital marketing space this year? So I'll come to Edward and then PK, you end for me. One piece of advice
is that in as much as you are relying so much on organic content creation, please, if you want your pages to grow faster, if you want to get more results, kindly kindly put some money behind your post and sponsor and promote them.
Right.
So many businesses are putting unnecessary pressure on digital marketers. They want to go viral. You don't want to put some money inside what you're doing. Please dedicate some amount of money. Even on Meta, as low as $2, you can promote your art and get some decent patronage of your product. Okay. So please put some money inside.
Put some money inside. Yes. Okay, PK, finally.
He stole my point, but I have another one. I would say the final point is this. Remember, it's still marketing. The rules apply. The fact that it's online doesn't mean you don't need to care about the rules of marketing, right? So still be very, very conversant with who your customer is and what they care about, and know what you are telling them to get them to do what you need them to do, right? And please, please, please put your prices on your posts.
Okay.
That's is very, critically very important, because that then it stops you from wasting time.
And having to now come and respond all the time.
And some people just simply won't bother because they don't have enough information to make a decision.
Right. Gentlemen, I want to say thank you to the two of you. Edward, I'm really grateful that you came. PK, thank you very much. I want you to put your social media platforms out there just in case people want to get in touch with you. Or if you want to put your number, anything. Yeah.
So I'm very searchable online. PK, if you search PK Wood, you find my website. Okay. All my social handles are there. I'm most active on LinkedIn.
Okay.
So that's the easiest place to find me.
So your Wood as E, right?
WOODE. So PKWOODE. If you want to send me an email, contact me at pkwood.com.
Okay. At pkwood.com. Okay.
My name is Edward Asare everywhere. My Instagram DM is less choked. So if you send me a message there, I'm more likely to be seen more than the other platforms. Yes.
Okay, so Edward Asare on Instagram, right? Okay, one more time, thank you very much for coming. I believe it's been a very fruitful conversation, and businesses or our listeners have gotten something very valuable for their businesses and all of that. And we say thank you to you. All right, and that's a wrap for today's edition of the Business Breakfast here on Z101.9 FM. It's been an insightful morning.